weeks. Hello, hello.
Hello, we're back.
Right.
Yeah,
Got our drinks.
another episode the night before. And
Top five,
where
bottom
are
five
we
episodes.
again?
Well, one, this is not like we're staring at the camera. We're like, what's going on? We're at Sun Brewery in
Dunedin,
Florida, which is interesting.
not Tampa.
Because the last episode we filmed
In Dunedin.
and recorded
I mean, in Tampa, Seven Sun.
was at Sun Brewery.
Yeah,
But we've never done an episode here.
at the original.
At the
Seventh-
OG
this is
spot.
the OG spot. The original Seventh Sun in Dunedin. We love Dunedin. We recorded in Dunedin recently for our
Yeah, the menu episode.
yeah.
The menu and the invitation.
We're here for the weekend. We're not staying. We're just here for the day. But
They're doing an art festival, which
yeah.
cue the B-roll maybe. If I grabbed a little bit while we were walking around,
Oh yeah, it's a big art festival.
but not
Big.
much.
Yeah, the whole town is kind of shut down, so
So-
it's a big. There's a lot of people around.
So though,
Let's
as
just say that.
of the time of recording this, we haven't like launched our first video episode
No,
of our
but
Hallmark
it's
for the
ready.
holidays.
It's ready.
But as the time this is live, that episode's already online as
Yeah.
well, in theory.
Definitely. And this is going to be better than the first one. The first one, let's be honest. I didn't even know we were going to be filming that day.
I didn't either.
We thought of it on a whim.
Like minutes before,
I
and we
didn't
just
prepare
picked up our cell phone and we said, let's
at
record.
all.
Yeah.
So,
Well, it's not like we prepared much for this one. We just got a different camera.
yeah, we just got a different camera. And no, I mean, I prepared a little more.
But I don't know if
have a
it's good or
hat on my
bad. Like we
head.
have a video reference. We can see the monitor now. Where last time we didn't even know if it was recording.
Right.
And
No,
here,
I
like,
think
we
it's
can
good.
constantly check our shot, which we'll get used to that as well.
So we're sitting outside in the beer garden, I guess.
Oh, it's
of
funny. I
Seventh
got to get a
Sun.
shot of that. They have this little handwritten sign that says "Welcome to our beer garden," which I can only assume is a joke
I think it is.
because
I was thinking that too when I saw
this
it.
is hardly a beer garden.
It's hardly a beer garden, but it's quaint. It's fun. It's a parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, parking lot surrounded by a couple trees.
And plastic ivy.
But this is our vibe. We
Yeah.
went to a couple places,
We scouted.
and you know, Dunedin is known for their craft beer.
Are they?
Yeah,
Okay.
they are, because they have a lot of craft breweries, like in a small
Yeah.
amount of space.
Radius per
But
capita.
today, because of the art festival, you were right. They are kind of catering to the masses.
Oh,
But if
some of
you
our more
go-
favorite spots. Though this is one of our favorite spots
yeah,
in the
yeah,
area.
it is.
It seemed like their tap list was a little more pedestrian, to use a word I like.
Yeah, we went to a couple spots before this, and we couldn't really find beers that we were excited about.
Mhm.
So
Can I say kudos to you? I know you have your backup, your number 2 beer ready.
I
in
do,
frame.
and it's in frame. That's really bad.
No, you can leave it in. I know. I was saying kudos. I liked it. I
Oh,
was like, leave it there. But
I
you're
do.
drinking your
I
other.
have
I've
my
already.
backup beer ready.
Yeah. So real quick, also I guess now that we're doing videos, we'll slowly start to try to highlight the place we're at a little bit more with some video footage, or the beers we're drinking.
Yeah.
Because on our last episode we were a little more. Oh, great! By the way, I always have train of thought. You know, you talk and you listen. I love that the people behind us are talking about the fact that we're podcasting. But
Oh, I didn't
anyway,
hear.
I
I'm
know.
not.
It's that skill where you're listening and talking at the same time.
I don't have that
But anyway.
skill.
But
But
I realized in our last video we didn't highlight what we were drinking enough.
Oh, okay.
But we were.
Well, no, I said I was drinking the mangrove. I remember that.
I know, but now that we're video, we could actually have a few better shots of things.
Oh
so
yeah. So today we're
I
drinking.
did pick up a shot of the board of what we're drinking, which
We're
is
drinking. It's called "We'll Make Great Pets."
We'll Make Great
It's a
Pets.
hazy IPA, which is good.
which I believe is a Porno for Pyro song reference.
You're right. It is because we've talked about this before.
On a previous podcast.
And they haven't had this
Dig
one
through
in
the
our
archives.
Tampa Seventh Sun in a while. Like they haven't had.
Which means they either brew it specially here, or they just had a lot leftover kegs.
Yeah. So we were excited to see it because we knew we liked it. And anyway, so we'll
I'm gonna
highlight the
adjust our
brewery
shot
a
a
lot.
little bit.
This is definitely a
I
place
wanna
to
put
visit.
this here just a little bit. Oh, I like this. I like
I don't
this.
have to
Yeah.
worry about my posture because
No, we're
there's
good.
no back.
So anyway, Seventh Sun,
I lost my
Dunedin,
train of thought.
beers will make great pets.
Yeah.
We did it.
So we'll highlight the brewery. This is definitely a place to come. I was saying if you come to Dunedin ever.
Yeah.
Seventh Sun. Because it's definitely like an OG brewery in Dunedin.
Yeah, it's like a local. It feels like a locals vibe.
Yeah.
Versus even like the Tampa Dunedin, the Tampa Seventh Sun is a little more.
What's their second location?
It's fancy. It's nice. I like it a lot. We like it a lot.
I wouldn't call it fancy, but it's definitely like a second brewery vibe. Like
Brewery
this
done
is our
right.
second
We've
location.
learned.
Like we've learned, we're gonna open up
get a
this big,
space that
nicer
caters to our
brewery,
needs. We're gonna get one pinball machine and one arcade cabinet.
and we're gonna sell lots of shirts.
I'm quoting our previous episode.
Right.
Lots to check out. All right, so this is our first episode of the new year. It's what we do.
Yeah.
Like our last episode was our second annual Hallmark for the Holidays,
This is our second annual top 5, bottom 5.
in which we go through not every movie we've seen
No.
all year, but the ones we podcasted about.
Although I think it would be good to put the list up since we're doing
I think
video.
we're doing something in post that shows what we're talking.
Oh,
of
yeah.
all the
of
films.
all what we're choosing from.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we don't have to read them out.
Yeah,
Our
yeah,
audio
yeah.
listeners can just seek out the YouTube video.
Yeah.
Or if you just look at all the episodes we've posted since the previous top 5, bottom 5 episode, those were all the ones. Now, we did exclude our 1990 episode, our 1990 and our 1991 episode. Like those 10 films.
Oh,
Weren't
because
up for
Singles
selection.
and Reality Bites wasn't part of that.
No, those were standalones.
That was a separate.
But we've been on, like, part of our goal is like we have
Yeah.
this ongoing series.
It's been hard.
We're going through
Let's be honest.
all the best pictures of the 90s and adding in our own
The 90
picks.
era. I mean, not that it's hard to watch them. It's just there's so many other things we want to watch.
We get caught up in other
Yeah.
things. So we're working on 1992 still.
Yeah. Yeah. Still.
But this last year we did the 1990 episode and we did the 1991 episode in which we watched the Best Picture nominee and 4 other films that we personally picked.
Yeah.
So those 10 films aren't up for top 5, bottom 5 because we
Right.
kind of rank those and discuss those in depth on those episodes.
Yeah. Yeah.
But other than that, everything else is fair game. So yeah,
But
we'll
so we don't tell each other what our picks are ahead of time.
we write them in our little secret books.
We secret book. Go Florida Eats.
And so what we'll do is we'll start like last year with our bottom 5, and we'll trade back and forth. We'll start at 5,
So
go up
last
to
year
1.
we did it at Fat Beat Farm. That
We
was
did.
a lot
we
of fun.
talked about
we need
going
to go
back
there
for this
sure.
episode, but
You know what? I want to go back there for the yoga day, and then we'll record.
I think we should go back in general.
after
I just didn't want to lock them in to top 5, bottom 5.
for that place.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. It's like typecasting a place.
So what we'll
We
do,
don't want to do that.
we start at bottom 5 and we go backwards. So we start at 5, but number 1 of our top 5 is our least
Least
favorite film personally.
That's how I rated mine. Yeah.
Okay. And then also, if one, there's another podcast called F This Movie, which we kind of took this protocol from. Because, somebody does something well, you acknowledge,
You acknowledge that they did it well, and then you steal it.
you take it. If a movie is elsewhere higher on one of our lists, we just say, okay, well, that's higher on my list. We'll talk about that
Talk
later.
about it next.
No, it didn't happen last year, but it could be.
We were very in sync last year.
Yeah, I think this year we
Are
might
we
be.
gonna be
I don't
as
think
in
we're going to
sync
be
this
as in
year?
sync this year now.
I don't know. I don't know if
But
we
it
will
could
be.
happen that one of our bottom 5s could be somebody's top 5. It didn't happen
Did you
last year.
peek at my bottom 5?
No. I'm just thinking in general.
Or you're just making that prediction.
I want to prepare the listeners, the viewers, and ourselves for that moment. We mentioned it last time,
I don't think so.
but it didn't happen.
I don't think so.
I'm just going to check. Also, in the video, you get sneak peeks of things we record on a little thing. But we've had a few recording mishaps over the years.
So we got to check
So
every
we
now
always
and
check
then.
to make
So
sure we're
that's
still
when we're
going.
like, okay, take 2.
Yeah, it happened on our video podcast.
It happens. It
Of the
happens.
Hallmark for the Holidays.
All right, so let's get right into it. I think we should. Do you?
I think so. I'm ready.
Let's do it.
So I'll let you go first. What is your, so we're at bottom
My
5.
number 5, bottom 5.
The movie, number 5 of what you
So
enjoyed
this
the
isn't
least. we talked about. But I'm going to say this real quick. This is what I wanted to say.
Okay.
I think we did a good job. Oh, there's two things I wanted to share.
Okay.
I had a harder time finding 5 films. Last year was easy to find 5 bottom 5.
True.
I had a little trouble. I felt bad putting a couple films on my bottom 5.
Me too. I had a harder time finding a bottom 5 than a top 5. I had a top 6, but I had to eliminate one. But I had a bottom 4 and had to really push for that 5th one.
Right?
Yeah.
Same. So these first few of our bottom 5, I just felt bad that they're on the bottom 5 list. Because they're not necessarily.
2 of them I don't feel bad about.
No. As we get to my top 3 of my bottom 5,
I'm glad that I can express myself in that way and said this movie was not a great experience.
Okay.
But there's only like 2 like that. The others, I'm like, well, I kind of enjoyed it, but it's on my bottom 5. But I still kind of enjoyed it.
The other thing I wanted to mention, which I'll let you just ruminate over this, and this will come at the end of the podcast. As you know, since this is only the films we podcasted about,
Okay.
right? We watched a lot of movies this year.
Mm-hmm.
I keep track of everything we watched last.
Oh, we
I
watched way more than we podcasted.
Yes,
about.
of course.
Yeah.
Because this is the night before, about the movie we watched the night before.
We can't always.
We can't podcast we watch not a movie every day, but close to it.
Almost, yeah.
So we can't podcast every day.
Yeah.
But I logged all the films I watched in my Letterboxd account.
Oh,
And
what's your Letterboxd account?
We'll put it in the notes. I think it's Winter Branch is my name.
You're still with that name.
I've had Letterboxd for a long time.
Okay.
But anyway, I don't have the pro account yet. But for non-pro account, they give you very simple.
How much does a pro account cost?
It's like $18 a year. But they give you a lot of.
nothing.
I know they give you a lot of statistics. So to tease you to get you to sign up, they give you the very basic statistics based on all the films. So at the end of the episode, I'll have you guess as to who is the actor, according to my Letterboxd log, which is accurate, that
you watch the most.
The most of in
I
2022.
bet I could guess that. I bet I could guess that.
It gives director. I don't think you would guess the director, and I was a little disappointed in the director. But then it also gives the actor, which actor appeared in the most films. I was happy with the choice for actor. And like I said, we'll probably upgrade to pro and we'll get all the rest of the stats.
Yeah.
So I think I logged something 100.
We'll do that at the end because I'll think about it.
We'll talk about it at the end of the episode.
Yeah.
All right. So top 5, bottom 5, starting with you.
Okay.
Your number 5.
So my number 5 doesn't mean this is my least hated. Not hated. That's a strong word.
Well, that's your number 1. Your least hated is number. Your least disliked is number 1.
Disliked is number 1. So my number 5.
We're working our way up to it.
We're working our way up to the least liked movie.
Yeah.
My number 5. Are you ready for this?
Yeah, I'm ready. It's always the fun part.
The Menu.
The Menu. Wow. Okay. Talk about it. It's
Yeah.
not on my list anywhere.
And we just did a podcast about this.
I thought about
and I
putting it.
loved our The Menu podcast.
A lot of people, the funny
But
thing is,
I did not love the movie because, I talk about it, like I'm not going to go through everything because we talk about it in the podcast.
yeah.
It's very uncomfortable for me. All the people are despicable. We talk about how it's not fun to watch a movie where every character is despicable. Like I have to attach myself to a character and like.
You have to care
someone?
about the characters. But my argument was it's lazy writing because you don't mind if bad things happen to bad people.
It's cliche.
Yeah.
It's cliche. So I like, what's his name? Fiends?
Ralph Fiennes?
Ralph Fiennes.
I was going to hope you were going to say John Leguizamo, like that you were a converted fan.
Now I know who he is. But I like his, like I said, nobody did a bad job in
Ralph
acting.
Fiennes killed it. I think he did great.
Ralph Fiennes did great. So did Judith Light. And, a lot of people, the actors and actresses did great.
Performances, top notch.
But I just didn't like the story. I just thought, I enjoyed.
It's the Zola effect.
Yes, exactly. Like I could not empathize with anybody. I could not attach myself to any character. I could not, the Zola effect was different because I overly empathized.
No, of course, yeah.
This is like I couldn't, it just didn't, it was meaningless to
But I
me.
think this film appeared on a lot of top 10 lists. And I think that's because, like I said in our episode, a lot of people, I said in that episode, I'm all about eat the rich. Let's go. Down with the elite.
I'm not. I'm not like that at all.
Well, we
I'm
know.
not like that at all.
Well, because you're part of the elite. We get it.
I'm not.
We get it. We get it.
I'm not. I think everybody is not defined by that. I think you shouldn't be defined by money or whatever.
Then we're going to have a lot to talk about when we do our new limited series.
I think you can
The
have a lot
Interest
of
of
money
Love
and be, and I
Netflix
know that's
series,
true.
all about class. But anyway.
That's true. I think you can have a lot of money, but also be a good person and have
No,
depth.
of course you can.
Like, or have no money and be a super interesting person and have depth. That doesn't, like, I'm not an eat the rich kind of person.
Yeah.
But
It's the old
but-
Donald Trump versus Bernie Sanders argument.
I'm not that black and white, is what I'm saying.
No, I agree. No, I
that
agree. But I think a lot of
movie
people latched
was
onto it.
too much eat the rich. And maybe that's why I didn't like it, because it was too much eat the
Well,
rich.
like I said,
kind of
I felt
like,
it was a little more mean-spirited than it needed to be. I think
Very
you could do it a
mean-spirited.
little more
it
nuanced
kind of hurt my heart.
and a little more gray instead of black and white.
Yeah.
But I feel a lot of people who like it are like, I mean, it's like,
And there
Whatever.
would be the argument of, well, that's why it was a good movie, because it hurt your heart. It made you think. It made you whatever. But it didn't make you think because it's a cliche.
yeah.
Like,
No, like I said,
it's-
my whole thing was I felt it was mean.
so you're stereotyping all these people that have money, that they're all the same.
Yeah.
They all have,
Yeah.
issues.
I just felt it was
beyond
mean and
repair.
lazy. Mean and lazy.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't like it.
And it wasn't saying anything. It wasn't saying anything that hadn't been said before.
I agree. And you could say it in a more interesting
And
way.
like we talked about, we know it again. We're traipsing over our previous podcast. But if you want to talk about a movie that really deals with like losing the joy and passion for what you care about, and also how the rich and the elite do
Pig.
tend to suck out the joy and love of things because of just like want and need and
Yeah.
desire and all that. Watch Pig.
Yeah.
But
And
again,
we know this.
but granted, one is a satire,
this
one is a
because
drama.
We owned a restaurant.
Yeah,
So we know that.
and we used to be part of the elite, but we shunned that life. We're all about cheese. We're all about.
we did not.
We're all about cheeseburger culture.
We've never been part of the elite. But
We're-
we do love a good cheeseburger.
we're a cheeseburger culture.
We
All right.
do love a good cheeseburger.
All right, so my number 5, and this I had a different number 5,
And you changed it?
and I took
Are
it
you
off
happy with your change?
only for
Oh.
I don't know about
Are you
integrity.
regretting it?
No. I feel
Okay.
good because I'm a film/director I like.
Okay.
I was able to take.
you thought too hard about it.
I was able to take that film off the list.
Okay. So
If it
on
comes
my
up
top-
later,
I'm
I'll
gonna-
mention it.
I'm
No,
gonna-
if you have an honorable mention, a
on
number
my
6.
top 5, I started thinking about it in that way,
Mm-hmm.
like directors, what people think are good films, da 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 da.
Well, this was what
And
people.
then I scratched it, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go with my heart,
No.
and I changed it all again.
Yeah, no, I went with my heart. No, I took a number 5 off. It's still number 6. Don't get me wrong. On my bottom 6,
You know, I don't even care about directors.
the if we had a bottom 6, the film I took off would show up. And if you
Okay.
mention it later, I'll talk about it. If you
Okay.
don't, we'll
Okay.
keep it.
Okay.
Maybe.
What's your 5?
Instead, I went with a film that was not an uncomfortable viewing experience. It was just 100% forgettable.
Okay,
I forgot we even saw it.
I know what it is.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do.
Okay. My number 5 is Scream.
Oh, okay.
I think
I
it's,
forgot we saw that too.
exactly. I think it's technically Scream 5, but Scream 2022. I don't think we'll talk much about
I
it
think
because
we went to the theater and saw it,
we saw it in like the Dolby experience, the really nice
and
thing.
we forgot we saw it.
The only
terrible.
Yeah, I have vague memories of it.
I mean, we are old, but we're not that old.
And so the logic I went while I took my mysterious number 6 off
Mm-hmm.
and bumped it to bottom 6.
Yeah.
Scream 5/2022 only because I didn't remember it. Scream, I know, means more to me than it means to you.
Yeah, we had this whole conversation.
Yeah, we
I
have a whole
think,
episode about it,
yeah,
as we do all these movies.
true. That's true. Yeah, we developed about the meaning of Scream for you versus me.
And here's the thing. And here's also why I put it at number 5. When initially Scream was in that safe zone, and what I call like the safe zone
Hmm.
is like not bottom 5, not top 5, like all those other films that we just never mention again. Like, we'll never talk about this again.
Right, right.
Scream. Recently, there was a trailer for Scream 6.
Oh.
It's There's another Scream coming this year. And I had no desire to even watch the trailer for Scream 6. And number 2, I can't even think. I can't fully remember. I vaguely remember how
Wait,
Scream
I'm
5
supposed
ends.
to say Scream's higher on my list, right?
Oh, well. I screwed up.
Damn.
All right.
I just remember
Play
that.
this game better.
Sorry.
All right. But anyway, Scream was on
Okay.
my list. What's your number
Scream's on
4?
your list. I'm sorry.
Well, so now when we get to Scream, we just skip it.
We just skip
Screw
it.
F this movie.
Scream's
What do they
higher
know?
on my
What do they know?
Sorry.
Number 4.
Sorry. Scream is higher on my list. Number 4 is The Invitation.
2015's or
Yeah.
16's Invitation?
Well, that's the only one we saw, so yeah.
Talk about it.
is.
It was in my safe zone. I felt this was in my safe zone.
Looking at all the other movies, I couldn't say it was in my safe zone. Like I liked it, but like you said, it was hard to come up with a bottom 5.
A bottom 5, though.
Yeah.
I thought that's just some interesting. I can't remember what we said about it, I'll be honest. But I remember we liked it more than the menu.
I liked it, but there was
But look,
poor.
but here's the-
No, it was a poor script because so many things didn't make sense.
But
So
here's the
many
thing.
things were
Here's my
out
question
of.
to you.
So many people were just not.
Okay.
It was not a realistic view of a dinner party invitation thing happening. So
You've
many
never
things.
been to a dinner party where they tried to get you into an occult?
No, and I've never, as an adult, never been to a dinner party that if I felt uncomfortable, I wouldn't just get up and leave.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like that
But what-
bothered
So
me
you've
the
never been to a dinner
entire
party where they
time.
like locked the doors when you came in, like
Yeah,
locked you in?
the entire time it bothered me. It bothered me like the relationship between him and the woman,
Yeah.
the girlfriend, and how unconcerned about each other they were. Given the situation they were
Yeah, yeah.
in,
Well,
all
clearly-
that bothered
clearly
me about
they
the
weren't
movie.
meant to be.
I was just like, this is so unrealistic. This script was very poorly written.
All
Like
right.
it's so poorly written that it's unbelievable.
So here's my question then. I believe on our episode, the menu / the invitation, that was also recorded in Dunedin, Florida.
True.
We said the invitation was the preferred movie,
Mhm.
but yet it's higher on your bottom 5 list. So what changed?
Yeah, because higher on the bottom 5 list is preferred. Oh no,
No,
it's not.
it's not.
Oh, okay. You're right.
Anyway.
Maybe I should have switched this.
It
but
doesn't matter.
It
4 and
doesn't
5.
matter.
They're in the
4
same
and
zone.
5. 4 and 5. Doesn't
right.
matter.
Can I do my number 4?
Yeah. Sorry.
Now consult your list on this one.
Okay.
Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
Not on my list.
It's on my bottom 5.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Why is it
Okay.
interesting?
No, I know. I mean, I contemplated it for my bottom 5, but I felt like it was so different. It was a very different experience that it brought something new to the movie watching experience. Something different that I hadn't seen. It wasn't.
A lot of people love this film. It's in a lot of
I
top
don't
10s. Like
love
the
it.
menu, it's in a lot of top 10s.
It was way too vulgar for me. Like certain parts, I
Vulgar?
was like, the penis stuff.
Oh,
all
there's a
that.
lot of
like,
penis.
it
Oh,
was-
that's right.
that
The
was
thing when he's
way
like
too
hanging
much
from
for
his
me.
penis. Yeah.
That was way too much for me. But I really loved the kind of like story in the end with the teenage
Well, it
girl
tried to
and
save
the-
itself
or-
at the very
yeah,
end.
yeah,
My
yeah.
thought was not even hot dog fingers
It's
could
memorable.
hot dog fingers couldn't save this film.
And it's more memorable than other films to me. So
I felt it was a film for 20-year-olds, not for 40-year-olds. Was my
maybe
vibe.
I'm 20-year-old at heart.
Like it was a film for young people who get exposed to a film that is trying to be different. But I'm not 20, I'm 40. I've seen much better avant-garde film
Yeah.
that
yeah,
can
yeah.
do interesting things.
No, I agree. It's trying to be too
And
avant-garde.
it felt forced.
Yeah. It felt. Oh
Yeah, you
yeah,
can do
it's
what?
fine.
What are you doing? Oh my goodness, I love it.
Woo!
I love it. I love it. I love it.
um,
Only at Seven Sun.
only at Seventh Sun.
Um,
Yeah. So
that's kind of an
that was
everything
fun.
everywhere all at once moment. It
That was
feels like.
perfect for the film.
Wouldn't it be cool? What if she
Actually.
had like hot dog finger
That
gloves
would be
on?
so fun if she did. I wish she did. I so wish she did.
Anyway, it was for
It
me.
was a forced avant-garde. I agree, but
And I felt like we watched the Swiss Army Man later,
Mhm.
which was the same director that Daniels, with when Harry Potter dude is Daniel Radcliffe when he's like dead the whole movie,
yeah.
right? I felt something like that was much better than Everything Everywhere All Once.
I mean, I agree with that, but I was in my safe zone for me. Like I wasn't.
No, I agree. Like I felt bad putting it on there, but I was struggling also so much to find a bottom 5.
But my question
So
for you,
I don't think it's a bad movie. I just think it's not a movie for me. It's not for me.
because it's such a beloved movie.
The phrase I hate, by the way, the phrase I hate of like generations today or people today, it's like when you don't want to have like a strong opinion, you go, it's just not for me. I respect everyone else's
It's
opinion.
just not for me.
It's just not for me. That's how I feel about Everything Everywhere All
And
at
somebody
Once.
should be like, I just effing
It's just not
hated
for me.
it.
It's just not for me. I did not enjoy it at all. That's my
Just have an
true feeling.
opinion. Have
Yeah.
an opinion. But
My question.
my question is, if it's not, but if that was on my top 5, because it is such a beloved movie,
Yeah. No, it's on a lot of
and it
people's
was
top 10s.
on your bottom 5, would I have to just say it's higher on my
It's
list?
higher on my list. We'll talk about it later.
And we wouldn't talk about it until the
Until the
top
top.
5?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Right?
We haven't
The-
done that yet.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I was saying
Okay.
at the intro.
It's not on my top
I just want to
5,
prepare the
but
listeners,
I
the
just
viewers,
wanted
and
to know.
ourselves for that moment.
Okay.
You're number 3.
Do I always go first in this? Is this like a ladies first thing?
guess it's
or do
showbirdie.
we go back and forth?
Well, I just did my number 4, so it's,
Oh,
not,
okay.
it's your number 3.
Okay. All right, Scream was my number 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now I do my number. So
Yeah.
we already talked about it. Unless
We
there's
already
something else
talked
you
about
want to
Scream.
say about
No,
Scream.
not really. I did enjoy seeing Nev Campbell.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
to me, that's also why I didn't like it, because it's part of that whole legacy sequel phenomenon now, where you kind of, quote, reboot a series, but you
Yeah.
bring the old actors. They did it with Jurassic Park. They did it with
I mean, it
Ghost.
was like woman power, it kind of
but-
did that thing in the end.
Yeah, because it had Courtney Cox, Nev Campbell,
Yeah.
and the new girl.
And I'm from that era.
Yeah.
Nev Campbell, Courtney Cox
And I
era,
think-
90s era.
The final girl who did well, who survived in Scream, she's going to be in Scream 6, I assume.
And she was really good.
Yeah.
She really was good.
And I like that angle of it, but at the same time, all of that also feels a little forced.
Too much.
Feels
much.
forced.
Yeah.
All right.
Number
my,
2.
No, my number 3. No, it's my number
Oh,
3.
you're number 3. Okay.
A movie I kind of liked because we've kind of embraced this actress that's in it.
Okay.
We watched a movie of hers the other night. Frank and Lola.
Oh, okay. We watched a movie of hers the other night.
A Long Way Down. She played Jess.
Oh. Okay.
Poots,
Yeah, Poots. Okay.
right? She is Lola in Frank and Lola.
Oh, okay.
Imogen
okay.
Poots,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Who
Oh,
you
yeah.
said it's an unfortunate name.
It's such an unfortunate name.
But we've watched a number of her films since Frank and Lola.
I liked that
We
film.
watched whatever it was called. Like it's kind of
That film was aggravating to me, but
Frank
I
and
liked
Lola?
it. Yeah.
No, we talked. We have an episode about
Yeah,
it.
we do.
Uh,
It was aggravating
It was
because,
aggravating.
but I liked it for some
it
reason.
was one of our like.
I think I like her.
I like her a
general.
lot, and that's why. And
I
I'll be honest,
do.
that's what attracted me when we watched A Long Way Down, which we did not podcast about. But we watched that. We watched.
We should have podcasted about that.
I think it was called It's Kind of Complicated, or She's Complicated. Remember where she had like the Brooklyn accent the whole movie?
Yeah.
That's a Netflix film as well. I like her a lot.
Okay.
Watching Frank and Lola made me realize how strong of an actress she is.
Mm-hmm.
And that she should be a star, but she's not for some reason.
She has a weird look. And I don't know. She has a weird look. I like her. I think she does well in all her roles.
I think no, every movie we've seen with her, and we've seen since that movie, we've seen a lot of her films, and I think she steals the movie of every film she's in,
Because she has a unique look.
and just her style, like
But
her,
because her look is so unique, I
but
think
not
it's
even
hard
look.
for her to find
Her
the
vocal
right role.
delivery, her accents that she uses, the way she talks. She was really good in A Long Way Down, and she was the one who kind of pulled together the
She
other
was
three.
great in that. Yeah, she was really great in that.
But she wasn't enough. Frank and Lola, though, was still such a frustrating watch
It was
experience.
frustrating.
Because
It
also
was.
Michael Shannon, who's in that, who's a great actor, he's really, really good. It was like two great actors wasted on like a steamy thriller that wasn't erotic and steamy enough.
True. That's what we said. There was not enough steam
And so a
in
movie,
an erotic thriller.
and that was on our Vengeance and Frank and Lola episode.
Yes.
And I was like, I know Vengeance is the low-hanging fruit for me. I'll go Frank and Lola.
Yeah. No, I liked Vengeance. So.
But so mine was a little more disappointment on the talent in the movie, Michael Shannon and Poots, versus and that they were in such like a rough film. It's Julian's principal calling. It's 5:00.
It's 5:00.
Yeah.
School starts tomorrow. All right,
Yeah,
number
so
2.
you're number 2.
I didn't write the whole title, but it's the marvelous
Marvelous
something in the black hole.
Picking on this indie film festival.
Ooh, that was a loud car.
We're on the side of the street. Picking on the indie film festival movie.
I know. I just didn't love it.
Who's
I thought it was sweet.
Who's the famous actress in that again?
I don't remember.
Okay.
That's the thing. It's not that memorable to me. I
I'll look it up.
remember the concept of the movie, but
Yeah.
I don't remember a lot about the movie.
So you're going on it was like forgettable.
Yeah. And I didn't think a lot about it after we watched it.
I mean, yeah, it is. It definitely had the vibe of like, why was this made?
Right.
Lily Tomlin?
Maybe.
Can I say that?
Yeah, sure. I don't know.
I haven't got there yet. I'm trying to rack my brain. But it had the vibe of like, why was this even made, right?
Yeah, it definitely did. I mean, it was like Rhea Perlman.
All right, that's what I was
Yeah.
saying, yeah.
And
Yeah.
I like her. I mean, God bless. You know, she's Rhea Perlman.
But here's the thing. I don't know if this film...
Cheers, Rhea Perlman.
I don't know if Marvelous and the Black Hole has even been picked up anywhere.
I don't either. That was like a film festival thing.
We saw that at the Gasparilla Film
So
Festival.
people might not even know about it. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't memorable. It wasn't great.
And
it
I think
wasn't.
I think it barely even clocked in at like 80 minutes.
I love independent films. Like I usually like really pick up on those things, but that was not great for me. That
Okay.
one. I remember that girl being very like just ridiculous and bratty, and I didn't like her. Yeah.
No, again, it was one of those like, why are we making this movie?
Yeah.
I guess
yeah.
to make a movie,
So that was
or you
tough
had
for
a
me.
half-baked idea, and it's nothing original. This film would have been great in like 1998.
Yeah, but not now.
Yeah.
It wasn't enough. It wasn't enough to be in my safe zone.
Couldn't make the safe sound.
No,
All
sorry.
right, can I do my number 2?
Burped in the microphone,
Are you ready for my
but-
number 2?
Yeah, I'm ready for your number 2.
I don't know if the listeners are ready for my number 2.
Are you ready? I'm ready.
All right. See if you can complete this line for me. Father, Son,
House of Gucci.
and House of Gucci. My number
That's
2.
in your bottom 5?
Oh my God, is it in my number 5?
What? I liked that movie.
It was not a good film.
I didn't think it's not in my top 5, but it's in my safe zone.
We trash talked it for an entire episode.
I enjoyed it though. I enjoyed the experience of watching it.
Between Jared Leto's terrible Luigi from Super Mario Brothers impersonation
True.
to Lady Gaga's performance
True.
to Adam Driver, who I have not liked until White Noise. White Noise is finally the film that made me like Adam
True.
Driver.
I didn't like him until then either, except that other movie we watched. I mean, he
Marriage
was
Story.
unlikable.
A Marriage Story?
No. I loved A Marriage Story, even though you always talk about it in disgust.
Only because I lived it.
The Matt Damon one.
Oh, The Last Duel.
Yeah.
But no, but
he was good in it, but he was
good in it,
despicable.
but you didn't like him at all.
No,
So
I didn't like
so I was
him,
like-
but he was good in it.
So when I watched Last Duel, I'm like, still don't like Adam Driver. He's a jerk.
But in White Noise,
White
he
Noise
was good.
converted me. White Noise might not be
But right
a great
now
move.
we're talking about
Father, Son, and House of Gucci,
yeah, House of Gucci.
which I didn't like Adam Driver in it
I
either.
liked it way more. Didn't even want to go see it, but I liked it way more than I thought it
No, I
was.
didn't like it. And Ridley Scott, the director, I like a lot.
Okay.
But Ridley Scott is one of these, like, you're really talented, so you can make trash movies that people think are good. And I felt that was House of Gucci. So I won't say much about House of Gucci, only that it was my number 2. But
Okay. Okay.
I felt it was
That's shocking to me.
I felt it was over long.
It was overlong. Is that a word?
I just made it's
You just made that
there's a
up.
hyphen in there. Over hyphen long.
Okay.
And
Anna just snorted.
and what we said on our podcast, I think still reigns true. My question is, like Marvelous and the Black Hole, what was the point of making House of Gucci?
I don't know. It doesn't put the family in a good light. It doesn't put. I mean, I guess it makes you sympathize with her as the wife a bit more, you know. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I agree.
Right.
I agree.
So this is your number 1. Though out of all the films we podcasted,
Are you ready for this?
the one you did not like the most.
Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Do you
I'm
know
there.
what it is?
I have no idea.
You have no idea.
No. Mm.
The
Okay, I don't know.
Batman.
Okay, it's funny. I forgot that the Batman we talked about, but now that you said it, I was waiting for the Batman to appear on your list.
That movie was excruciating for me. A, it was so dark and depressing. B, it was just like so cliche. C, the Nirvana song that played over and over again.
Yeah, we
and I
talked
love Nirvana, but come on,
Who
use
doesn't,
it.
right?
Use it in that way.
R.I.P.
That's
Kurt
just
Cobain.
so okay. And would Kurt Cobain love that his
No.
song was being commercialized so much? No, not at all. And I just hated it in general.
Wow.
I mean, I appreciated
No.
the experience with you, but I did not like the movie.
No, but I
at
will say
all.
this about the Batman. I tried to rewatch it one night. I think you were in sleep or you
Must have been
you
asleep.
weren't home or something. I tried to watch the Batman again, and I just couldn't do it. Like, I bailed 30 minutes in. I was like,
Yeah.
what am I doing?
No, it's so long.
I can't watch this thing.
It's so ridiculous. Although, what is it? Zoe Kravitz in it?
Yeah. Catwoman.
She's fine, but
Robert
at the
Pattinson
same
was good.
time, I'm
I liked his emo boy look.
just even the sexual exchanges between them. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like it didn't even make sense. All of that didn't even make sense in the movie. So
I knew the Batman would show up in your bottom 5. I'll be honest. I'm just happy that I thought. No, I won't say it. I had another film that I thought might make in your bottom 5. But what I find interesting is that our number 1 bottom 5s, each of ours, are not.
anything alike.
My number 1 didn't even show up on your number 5. Your 5 bottom 5s.
The only one we have similar screen.
Yeah. Right.
That's
Okay.
not like last year.
No.
Does that mean we're going farther apart or going closer together?
I don't know.
I don't either.
I guess the true indication is if one of our bottom 5s is in someone's top 5. That would be
True.
cause for alarm.
That would be cause for alarm
We have
in
to
our
re-
relationship.
re-
That hasn't
reevaluate our
happened
mood.
yet, but
No.
you have one more.
I still one more. What if my number 5, a bottom 5,
It's
was
in
your
my
number
top
1? Was your
five.
number
That'd
1?
be terrible.
It
Let's
won't be.
break up.
It won't be.
We're stopping the podcast after that.
So, like I opened with Scream.
Are you killing an ant? on
Yeah,
the
I'm
table?
sorry.
Okay.
My number 1 bottom 5 out of all the movies we podcast about that I enjoyed the least was Netflix's Spiderhead.
Oh, okay. Okay. I looked at that a couple times, but I actually enjoyed that movie.
Wow.
I mean, not like enjoyed it, thought it was a great movie,
Yeah.
but I enjoyed aspects of it. Like I didn't hate it. I thought it was a different kind of film, so I put it in my safe zone.
Mm-hmm.
But I can see why it's in your bottom 5.
Chris Hemsworth.
I know, you hate him. He's a bro.
I don't hate him. I thought he was better in this. A George Saunders short story, which I read afterwards.
Yeah.
Had a decent soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was easy. When I looked at the whole list, I just had, like you said, go with your heart. I looked at it and I was like, oh yeah, Spiderhead is my number
Definitely
one
go with your heart.
least favorite film we talked about.
And I liked it because it helped me in the sci-fi genre. I'm not a sci-fi girl. Like I don't like sci-fi in general.
Yeah.
There's been a couple exceptions. And
Hashtag give Star Trek a chance.
hashtag no. Hashtag Spiderhead. Like I kind of enjoyed Spiderhead, so
Yeah.
I was like proud of myself for enjoying a kind of sci-fi film.
Okay.
So we're gonna have to take a break after the bottom 5.
All right, so we're taking a break.
Yeah.
Top 5. We
Okay,
had
top
to
5.
cut. We had a new drink.
We had a whole thing during the
whole-
break. Whole thing. Well, you
all
have
the
a new
peop-
drink, but we're gonna split
All the
it.
people behind us want to know about the podcast. So we ran a podcast workshop, and now we're
Well,
back.
Okay, we're
All right.
back. So,
And I got a drink. This is House of Dragon. You
Aw.
grabbed it for us.
I did.
It's a sour,
We're gonna
passion
split
fruit,
it. Yeah.
strawberry, banana.
Yeah.
All the above.
Yeah. So we've had it before.
Because the top
Actually-
5, bottom 5, it's a long episode.
It is because we have a lot to say. But
So we'll start with you. From the
on
top
our number
5.
5,
Number 5.
because
your
our top
number-
one is the most liked
Your
of the
favorite
year.
film that we ever talked about.
You're gonna be
Watch-
surprised by mine.
I don't think so, but let's go.
Okay.
Because you already said the Batman.
Number 5. So these are all
wanna make sure
very
we're
well
recording.
liked because it's
Well, these
off
should
the
be great
whole
films.
list.
Yeah.
All 5 are great films.
Yeah.
So just because it's my 5 doesn't mean it's bad,
No.
right?
Out of
That's what
everything
you're
we watched,
understanding.
this is one of the.
Okay.
These are the best 5.
So my number 5 is Relative.
That's also my number 5.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh my God! That's cheers.
No,
I like
Relative
that.
was my number 5.
Yeah. Okay. So I love Relative. I can't decide. Every time I think about it as a film, it's so memorable to me. But we also had such a great experience.
Yeah, was it the
watching
film
it.
or was it the experience?
But whatever. When I think like my top films, I also think about my experience watching
Yeah.
them and what my heart says. And we loved the director.
Yeah. Michael
he-
Grover Smith.
Yeah, we love the director. He's super nice. Everyone's are super relatable. And I just thought the film was so like heartfelt and relatable and just really like tore into like
It felt authentic, is the word.
so authentic. And I just loved it so much.
No, I mean,
So,
granted, that's on our Gasparilla Film Festival episode.
Yeah.
And
I don't think
No.
it was released in like the big film.
there's
era.
yet a way to see it outside of the film
No,
circuit.
That's a sad thing because our viewers can't really see it, and we're talking about it so
I'm
much.
sure it'll find its streaming home at some point.
Mhm.
And yes, did we sit in the audience with the cast and crew, the director,
Yes.
the actors? Was I
And did that give us?
sitting right next to one of the main actors in the movie?
Yes.
Yes, I was.
But that's not the only reason we loved it.
But that was part of the
although
experience.
feeling the emotion from the actors and actresses that were in the movie, watching the movie, it's like film debut, was such a great experience. Could that have influenced my liking of the movie? Sure. But I think if I watched it again in our home,
No, it's
I
still a
would
film I would recommend to
feel-
people.
I
It's a
would
film
feel
I'm sad.
so. I feel like the actors and actresses were so authentic. They acted like they loved each other, which they did,
Mhm.
because we saw them together, and it just was a very authentic feeling film.
Now, granted,
and I
we've,
loved it.
we've sat in movies with directors before, and I've fallen asleep.
You have.
So there's that.
Embarrassingly,
There's
yes.
that.
Embarrassingly.
No, but I agree. It was my number 5 for the exact same
Really
reasons.
interesting.
It's a film I want to see again. It's a film
Fun.
I'd recommend. It's a
Okay.
film I really connected with. And it was just a bonus to
I
be
really
with
connected with that
the folks
film.
involved in it.
Just the family dynamics and some of the things that the families were going through, I really connected with as well.
No, it felt.
because
I mean, it felt a little.
honestly, no family is perfect.
It felt
and
a bit
it all is like
biographical, like autobiographical by the
yeah.
writer
It
director.
felt really like real.
We followed him on Instagram. Did he give our podcast some love? Of course he did.
But that's not why we're doing
He
that.
pays us. I get it.
No, he doesn't. He absolutely 100% does not.
No,
But,
no. It was funny. Relative, I felt for your reasons, it felt good putting it at number 5. Simply like it deserves to be in top 5 for those reasons.
He's a less known director right
It's
now.
from Chicago. It's what it is.
And he can't even he has to work his way up to the
Well, he's fueled by passion, so I love it.
If you can access that film, I 100% recommend
or if you live
accessing
anywhere
that film.
that you see Relative is playing in like a film festival or whatnot, you should go see it. All right, so that means we're at your number 4 now.
Okay. My number 4 is Belfast.
Belfast.
I loved Belfast.
Okay. It didn't make my top 5. I'm sorry.
It did not.
It was an Academy Award nominee.
I loved
for Best
Belfast.
Picture.
I have to say, like that.
Kenneth Branagh.
That movie stuck with me. The cinematography of it, the angles of the shoot, how they shot the film, like just the relationship. I love movies with it's like involved in their relationships.
Yeah.
And that film was really focused on that.
Yeah.
As well as being historical, and I love a historical element to a film, and I just love that film. I just loved it.
Well, it's nice and surprising when a film that we saw so long ago shows up on our top 5.
Yeah.
Because I think we podcasted about that in late January, February of 2022. Because we were prepping for the Oscars. And we only really watched it because
of that.
It was nominated for Best
Picture.
Picture.
And I just that movie has stuck with me. I loved it, and I immediately texted my dad and my stepmom watch this movie. You're gonna love it. It's just an amazing film, and there was just so much about that film that I loved.
Okay. So now I'm worried that West Side Story might be in your top 5.
I loved West Side Story. I did. I loved that movie, but for not the best reasons. But I loved it.
But no, Belfast was a solid film. A lot of people called it Oscar bait, like Kenneth Branagh, just.
I don't think it was Oscar bait.
Felt that
I
either.
thought it was a solid, great film.
Yeah.
I don't think it was Oscar bait.
Okay, we're good.
I thought it was really original and great. I loved it.
Perfect. All right, my number 4, which might be higher on your list, I'm guessing. My number 4 is Language Lessons.
Your number 4 is language. It's higher on my list.
I figured it would be. I know you like that movie a
God,
lot.
I love that movie.
But we'll talk about Language Lessons in a little bit. But the surprise hit, Language Lessons. So what's your number?
My number 3 is Drive My Car.
Okay, nice. I'm glad that showed up on our list.
Is that higher on your list?
No, I wanted to put it on my list.
But you knew it would be on my list.
It didn't even place the top 5.
Really?
Yeah.
I loved Drive My Car. It was long.
And though I loved the moment when 45 minutes in, it's here's the title screen. You're watching Drive My Car. I love that moment. I felt maybe because it was so long was why it didn't make my top 5. I'm not compelled to watch Drive My Car again.
I am. Here's the thing with me. If a movie not only sticks in my memory, but inspires me a little bit, I feel I think about it every now and then, or it sticks in my memory, because we watch so many movies that you're just what? I can see a name of a movie and I'm I have no recollection of that movie.
What is that?
So if a movie really sticks in my mind, and I feel moved by it, and I feel connected to the characters, and Drive My Car, I felt that way.
I
Like
mean,
big time
no
felt
question.
that
Drive My
way.
Car was a great film.
Yeah. So that's kind of how I judge my top 5, I guess.
And if it wasn't so expensive, I
Emotionally.
kind of want the vinyl soundtrack to Drive My Car.
Is it expensive?
It's expensive, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Only because those moments in the movie were so nice too when like that jazz drum stuff kicked in.
Yeah, yeah.
It was great.
I
But
have to keep reaching over.
well, we can put it elsewhere.
Can we just put it in the middle?
Sure. I don't
So-
think the viewers mind.
Okay. We're sharing a beer right now, so
All right.
we're gonna put it in the middle, so I don't have to keep reaching over with my big arm. Like my arm looks so big when
Yeah.
I'm reaching over.
So though you picked a Japanese film for your number 3,
Mm-hmm.
I picked a Korean film for my number 3.
Decision to leave.
Decision to leave. Yeah.
Okay.
It's not higher on your list.
It was my number 6.
Oh, that was your honorable mention.
That was my
Yeah.
honorable mention.
So
Yeah.
I'll be honest. Initially, when I made my first top 5,
I cut it.
Decision to Leave was not on my top 5 when I made my first run.
I liked it, but I didn't love it as much as Drive My Car, and I
Yeah.
didn't love it as much as the other movies that are in my top 5.
I might say
It was smart.
connecting with the characters and the story. Drive My Car is probably a better movie.
Yeah.
But for like a movie and how to make a movie and the art of movie making, Decision to Leave is a better movie.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it was a wonderfully made movie, like amazingly made. But
And like you said, a movie I really want to see again. Like out of everything
Definitely.
we've
We'll
watched
see
this
it
year, I keep thinking like, man, we got to sign up for that movie 10-day free trial. That's where Decision to Leave is.
oh, movie.
Mubi, MUBI.
Okay,
That's
got
where
it.
it's streaming for free right now.
Got it.
I'm like, man, we got to sign up for that 10-day trial.
we can watch it
just so we
again.
can watch Decision to Leave again.
Yeah, I don't love watching movies again,
Yeah.
but that movie I could watch again for sure
Well, I
because
feel
I would
like-
think I would understand it more.
I feel like you have to watch
you
it again.
have to because halfway through you're confused.
Well, not even confused. Like, yeah, you might be a little confused, but
I was confused.
you realize how meticulous
everything is.
Park Chan-wook is, the director. Like,
Mhm.
everything has purpose. But
Yeah.
beyond, like we talked about in the podcast, the wallpaper, every little scene is like
Kind of like
meticulously put together.
Yeah,
that he also directed, yeah.
Yeah. Kind of like that, although that was easier to put together, I
Yeah.
feel like.
Mhm.
But it was like at the end you were like, "Oh my gosh, like
Yeah.
this is so meticulously
Like
put
it's
together."
like one of those like,
yeah.
oh, I got to watch this again just to see how much thought was put into making
Yeah,
it. Like
yeah,
every scene had
for
a
sure.
purpose. Everything
No,
was
I
framed.
could definitely watch it again. I can see why it's your number
So,
3.
but
for
initially
sure.
it wasn't on my top 5, and I bumped a film.
You
It's
thought
funny
too
how you
much about it.
reorganize your list. I bumped a film to replace it.
Ooh, what'd you bump?
We'll see if it comes up. I doubt it. I doubt
Is
it'll
it
come
still
up.
in your top 5?
No, I took
The
it
one
off.
you bumped?
Yeah,
You're not going to mention it?
unless
The
it comes
bump?
up. No, it's
No?
in the safe zone. It's
Oh.
a safe film.
I want to know what you bumped.
Well, I doubt it'll come up.
Listeners want to know as well.
So my number 3 was
Decision.
Decision to Leave.
Okay.
So now we're at your number 2. We're flying through the top 5.
My number 2. Benedetta.
That's higher on my list.
Really?
No
wow.
question.
Okay. Benedetta is my number 2. I loved that film.
Well, we'll have to talk about it in a minute,
Okay. So what's your number 2?
which gives away my number 1. But
Yeah, it does. And gives away my number 1.
surprisingly, my number 2 was Brian and Charles.
Oh, wow.
The
No,
quirky-
I know you love that film.
The quirky
I love
British
that about
comedy.
you too because it's so like sweet and quirky, and that's
Yeah.
how you are. You're sweet and quirky.
And
That's
again,
your
that's
personality.
the end of the day, what appealed to me was the genuine kindness to the film.
Mm-hmm.
It truly was, which is, I think, is very rare. And again, we haven't talked about language lessons yet, but it's truly rare to see kindness and like shedding of ego
Mm-hmm.
on screen.
True.
Like, does someone want to write a story about just being kind to other people
Yeah.
and like really wanted to focus on having someone else or some other thing feel loved
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and putting even one's own sadness second or to the side. And
Right.
Brian and Charles does that.
It definitely does that.
Right?
I love that. It
And
was
like
such a good Father's Day film when we saw it
and it was,
too.
and I part of it was the
like,
experience. It was like
so sweet.
sometimes you take your kids to see a movie, and it was like the perfect pick.
Perfect movie.
And you didn't know if it was
going
going
to
to be the perfect pick.
If
Like
you're going to see that movie, have your kids there.
But I think a film like Brian and Charles is rare this day and age.
It is. It is.
It's rare.
Yeah.
About a
no,
man.
I loved that film
Yeah.
too. It was in my safe zone because I loved so many more films
Yeah.
this year than that, even though I love that film.
Mm-hmm.
But
And it's a film that most people will not see. Like, it doesn't show up anywhere on streaming, really.
I know.
Right?
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Because it's so good. So good. Everything about it is good.
Right? It's a crazy film. So as I was thinking about it, I kept like bumping Brian and Charles up. It worked its way all the way up to number 2.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Excellent.
It worked hard.
Okay.
And it's like,
I got that. So I think we know what our number ones
you.
are.
so have you already done your number 2?
Are you going to do
Your
a
number 2
Brian
was
and
Benedetta.
Charles impression?
I was trying, but I couldn't think of something that Charles would say.
Charles Petrescu.
You want that name, do you? Charles Petrescu? All right, then.
I'm Charles Petrescu. Hello, Brian.
You're drinking
All right, so we're at our number ones.
Okay, number 1.
We
I
know,
know
you're
what
number
your
one.
number
I know
one.
you're number 1.
I know
so
you're number 1.
Your number 1 for top 5 is language lessons.
It is.
Let's tell us about
And
it.
I moved it a couple times away from top.
Okay.
My
It was
number
what?
1.
Was it my number 3, we said?
Yeah.
No, it was my number 4.
Because I was like, oh, it's not worthy of a number 1.
Mark Duplass.
But I loved it so
Natalie
much.
Morales.
It's my most movie that I think about.
Mhm.
I come back to. I thought was so thoughtful. I thought it was so relevant, human, connecting. Like it was just such a movie that I felt I cared about all the characters involved.
Well, there were 2.
And the boyfriend and
Yeah.
like I felt
But it's just crazy for we watched so many movies. Like
so many good
like
movies.
we watched so many movies like Kimmy and others that were like, obviously this was filmed during COVID.
Yeah.
And usually that's like a little negative mark.
But this was not. It's such a good movie. Like I love that movie. I want to watch it again.
Like this is quintessentially
Like, I want to watch it
the
again.
COVID movie.
It is quintessentially the COVID movie, and it is the movie that moves you so much, and you laugh, and it's all the things combined, and it's authentic,
Mhm.
and it's Mark Duplass's real house.
Yeah.
Like we're like
What do we got here?
struggling.
A dozen eggs.
Oh
What?
my gosh, that is
From who?
amazing! Thank you.
Regulars.
All right,
Wow,
well,
that's
send our thanks.
awesome. Thank
Random
you.
thing.
We
brought-
love
we always bring
this.
dozens of eggs. They're blue. They're green.
Oh
We
my
love
God.
this, actually.
You've like made our day.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. Oh my God, we just got
This
eggs.
is awesome.
What
These
is
are
this?
beautiful eggs too.
What is
Like,
this? What is this?
oh my gosh.
I'm gonna move to Dunedin tomorrow,
Me too. And
passion fruit.
passion fruit.
which is in our thing,
Yeah.
our drink.
That's
The
amazing.
sips of our sour.
That was
Wow.
unexpected. Cheers to that.
Cheers to language
Oh my
lessons. Thank you, Mark
gosh.
Duplass.
Thank you, Mark Duplass.
And Natalie Morales.
What? I was thinking we had to go to the store to buy some eggs, and
I had
now we
eggs for
have
breakfast that were nothing nearly as good as this.
delicious home-raised
crap.
eggs. Oh my God!
Wow.
Wow, that was cool.
Hashtag blessed.
Stop with that. Don't do that. Please don't do that. Anyway,
See, when we're part of the elites, what happens?
oh my God.
The menu strikes again.
Anywho.
Anyway, language lessons. A
Yeah.
great film.
Yes.
I think it's on HBO Max, or it was, or it still is. That's how we stumbled upon it.
Mhm. You have to watch it. If you don't watch this movie, you are not watching the best movie of 2022.
Yeah.
You aren't.
And like I said,
mean,
I think Mark Duplass gets a
aren't.
lot of credit for it, but it's just equally on the shoulders of Natalie Morales as well.
Absolutely.
she's the director.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But to use Zoom effectively, like it's hard to use Zoom in a way. We see so many people use it, like just in a filmmaking manner.
oh my
it's
gosh,
done
the
really well.
emotion that came through on some of
Yeah.
these takes. Like,
And then
I-
like the piece about struggling as like a male, like struggling to be supportive to a female, but at the same time being conscious of the whole like mansplaining
right?
and like
Yeah.
and like
That was a
white
whole
savior
thing, which
element,
is such
like
a
to
thing.
tackle that
Such a
piece, but at the
thing.
same time, like it
Such a
shouldn't
thing.
it shouldn't inhibit you from trying to help a person.
Help a person.
Yeah.
Or even the like we say like eat the rich, like
Yeah.
rich culture trying to help.
And Mark Duplass's
You
character
know,
truly was coming
but
from a elite,
are
more elite,
you
top percentage
100%?
lifestyle. Yeah.
Yeah. And trying not for that to be the reason for being compassionate. Like I can be compassionate because I have a ton of money, or I'm compassionate because I'm a compassionate person.
Yeah.
Like just tackling that kind of thing.
Mhm.
I thought that was an amazing movie
Yeah.
that everyone should see.
I agree.
Like
It was in my top 5.
I know
feel
it was in your
I
top
feel we
5,
did well.
but it was in my top. It was,
It was your
my number
one. I
one.
knew it'd be your number 1.
You knew it would be.
Yeah. I knew
and
you
I
loved
changed it at one point, and I was like, I'm not going with my heart if I change
it. Yeah.
it.
What would have been your number 1 if you didn't pick language lessons?
Benedetta.
Nice, good pick.
Yeah, but I'm
Art,
like, but if
you went for feeling and emotion over art.
Yeah, I did.
Mhm.
I
And I went for
decided
art.
I went like go with your heart.
Mhm.
So it's like language lessons. I changed it a couple times, and I was like, go with your heart. Go with what you really loved. If you had to watch it again tomorrow 10 times, what would you watch 10 times?
Yeah.
And I hate watching movies over again. I would watch language
So
lessons
if you want to
10
feel,
times.
if you want to feel a movie, see language lessons.
If you want to feel it, see language lessons. And I'm a feeling person.
And so I picked Benedetta.
Because you're not a feeling person. I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding. I'm
But
totally kidding.
you know me. I'm also
No,
like
I know.
I like to see
I loved Benedetta.
film being pushed as a
loved.
artful medium.
So what that tells me about you and I is that our top movies were very like closely linked.
Yeah.
Like we had emotion about all of these movies.
No,
Like I loved
yeah.
Benedetta.
It blew me
Like,
away.
I loved
That movie
it.
blew me away.
Yeah, it did me too. And
Right?
and it was unexpected.
Yeah.
I feel like it was
Well, I
unexpected.
went in thinking it would be this sort of over the top, lesbian, erotic
Yeah, and it wasn't. No.
movie. I know Paul Verhoeven, who directed it, that he would be pushing the boundaries to push the boundaries, right?
Yeah,
It's nuns, it's
Yeah.
lesbianism, it's
but it-
loosely based on a real story. And yes, is all that stuff present in the film?
Of course,
100%.
yeah,
There's
yeah,
a Virgin Mary
Yeah.
that's been repurposed for other things.
Right. Yeah.
But at the heart of it though is just like the power of like in 2022, or I guess that movie came out in 2021
Yeah.
technically.
But we watched it in 2022.
But to see like this is the same movie, this is the same director of someone who made RoboCop and Starship Troopers
Yeah. He's come a long way.
that he's made, and Showgirls.
I didn't love Showgirls.
No, who does? Saved by the Bell fans, I guess.
Yeah.
But Benedetta was like a movie unlike anything you really ever see.
Yeah. No, I loved Benedetta.
Yeah.
Like, I thought it had a powerful message. I thought
Mm-hmm.
it was, I mean,
And but just
woman
like
empowerment
the
to
boldness of it. It's a
to
bold
the nth
movie.
degree. Like, not woman empowerment, like in your face, like, oh, this is a woman empowerment movie. But it was a woman empowerment movie of like back in the day when you couldn't declare your sexuality, like you're declaring your sexuality.
Like I'll be
Done.
honest, Benedetta is definitely in the top 10 films I've seen of all time.
Wow.
It might
I
be in-
love that about you.
It might be top 5.
That makes me love you even more.
I'm glad. But I'm saying Benedetta is definitely in my top 10 films of all time.
Me
it
too.
might be my top 5.
100%. Like, I love that movie. And for anyone that's listening to this podcast that hasn't seen that, they should see
No, I
it.
don't think many people saw Benedetta either. It's like
I don't think so either. It wasn't a movie that I think a lot of people saw.
Yeah. So Benedetta's up there as like a movie that I just think as like movie making. Like This is.
But it wasn't a foreign film, right? Was it a foreign?
It's in French, I think. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. I don't even remember the ones
Yeah.
that were in French.
It's in French.
Okay.
It's has subtitles, the whole thing. I think it's French.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's why a lot of people don't see it. A lot of
Yeah.
people don't like reading subtitles. But
Right, so
if you get past that, I feel like
Yeah.
you can see some amazing films.
So our top 2 films of this
Language
podcast
Lessons
season,
and Benedetta.
Language Lessons and Benedetta.
I think
Are-
that's a good summary of the year.
I guess for lack of better ways to describe it, our top 2 films to avoid. Right?
I mean, I don't know because we only saw a lot of good films.
I know.
What was our top ones to avoid?
Well, your number 1, which was.
Which was.
You already forgot?
Yeah, I already forgot.
Mine was Spiderhead.
Batman. Oh yeah,
and
I would
the
avoid
Batman.
that.
You're like, don't watch the Batman.
Don't watch the Batman and Spiderhead. I mean, I would watch a Spiderhead, but Jesse says don't.
So I guess we'll just stick on the things we recommend. So
you won't go on with life missing anything if
Well,
you.
here's the thing: if you haven't seen Spiderhead or the Batman by now,
It's fine.
you're fine.
You're good.
But if you haven't seen Language Lessons and Benedetta, you need
Please
to
see it
You need to
because
do
it
it.
will kind of
I think
change
that's
your
the better
life
way.
a
I
little
think
bit.
it's the better way.
I mean, it'll put a little like indentation in your heart, like something
Yeah.
will be better because you saw that movie.
All right.
Yeah.
So to wrap up, because the sun's going down, we're
It is.
losing light.
We are losing light. I
We
feel like we
s-
need to get closer to the camera too.
We said
kind of sitting far away.
we would end with our most watched actor
Oh.
of
Okay.
2022,
Your most watched actor.
but it's really ours at the end of the day.
Is it?
Ba-
Because
based-
you watch a lot more movies.
So I'll
than
say
I
this: here's
do.
the stats based on my limited
Okay.
3.
'Cause I don't know if your
Letterboxd
stats
account.
could be my stats.
But every movie I watched, you watched.
Not every movie.
No, okay, I apologize. Every movie you watched, I watched.
Every movie I watch, you watch.
Yes.
Yes.
So on Letterboxd, I logged 194 films
Okay.
for the year 2022. That's also 344 hours of movies.
I don't know if you should be proud of that or depressed about that.
All I know is I'm going to be pushing harder next year, 2023.
Oh, please don't.
So I will say this, and I think it's skewed. Our most watched director was David Gordon Green, but that was because during the month of October we watched all 3 of those Halloween movies: Halloween,
Yeah, of
Halloween
course.
Kills, Halloween
That was
Ends.
fun to do that.
It was fun, but those were all by the same director.
Yeah.
So we have David Gordon Green was our most watched director.
Oh, because those
You would
three
have never
films.
guessed that.
No.
But our most watched actor is within your realm
Oh.
of knowledge. So you said you had an idea who the actor was.
And I haven't thought about it because we've been podcasting the whole time.
But at the beginning of the podcast, you said, I know.
I was thinking something at the beginning of the podcast, and let me think for a second. I'm going to say it is.
I will say there were 6 films by this individual.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oof. Okay. Has to be Aaron Paul.
Aaron Paul's a really good guess.
Has to be because we've seen a lot of stuff with him in it.
But remember, we saw A Long Way Down with Aaron Paul
But we saw other
just
stuff.
now. We saw
Yeah, yeah,
Duel
yeah.
and some other films with
Yeah,
Aaron Paul.
with Aaron
It's not
Paul.
Aaron Paul.
But that was a good guess.
It was a
right?
really good guess. I'm actually surprised you pulled Aaron Paul out
Okay.
of the mix.
Okay.
Do you want a second guess? I will say it's a male.
Okay. Let's say.
Well, I'm just impressed by Aaron Paul.
Hold on.
That's
Hold
really
on.
good.
Hold on.
You have until the sun sets.
It's one of those old guys. What's his
An
name?
old dude. Okay.
I can't think of their name.
I'll say this. You're off base by saying an old
Okay.
dude.
Okay.
So don't think
okay,
about old dudes.
Let me go back. Let me go back.
I will say
Um,
this. Somebody closer to our age.
Chris Hemsworth.
Chris Hemsworth is close, but what did we watch besides Spiderhead
I
with
don't
Chris
know.
Hemsworth?
See, I'm
So
done.
you're off.
After Aaron Paul, I'm done.
All right,
so
I will
just tell us.
All right, let me list the movies until you get it. All right?
Okay.
Clerks 3,
Okay.
Frank and Lola.
You know I'm not good about names.
I know.
It's the guy in Frank and Lola, and I
A
don't know
movie
his
you
name.
didn't watch with me, Idiosyncrasy.
Okay.
I watched that with Julian.
Oh yeah, I know
So
that.
Clerks, Idiosyncrasy, Idiocracy,
Dax Shepard's in
Frank and
that.
Loyal, Dax Shepard's in that. Barbarian,
I don't know this actor's name. It's a
House
problem.
of Darkness,
I don't know this actor's name.
Lady of the
I know
Manor.
who I can picture. Oh, Justin Long.
Justin Long.
Oh, I love him.
I know, you do know the actor.
I love him.
So Justin
He's in all those movies?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay. I love Justin Long.
So Justin Long was our number one actor of 2023.
I don't love him like
2022.
Like he's so attractive.
And we were
but
gonna
I
watch
love
his
him
Christmas
like,
movie.
I love just his acting. I love
We talked about his
I love his
likability.
personality.
We talked
I
about
love,
his
He's just
likability.
like the everyday guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we
I
watched
like him.
6 films of him this year. You watched 5 of the 6. Clerks 3, House of Darkness, Barbarian, Frank and Lola, Lady of the Manor, and you didn't watch Idiocracy with me. But
I know about it because I
Yeah.
listened to the Dax.
Yeah. So Justin Long
Podcast.
was our most watched actor of 2023.
Oh, cheers to that.
All right. So
like that.
we're losing light. This has been a long episode, and I think we're losing memory card
Yeah.
as well. It's
okay.
a new
it's getting
stat.
dark, and I feel like we're farther away than we
So
were.
we'll get a little closer
before.
for the end.
Yeah, we're gonna get a little closer for
I
the end.
think we always like to prep our next episode. Our next
have to
episode
cheers,
will
too.
be, because we don't have.
Oh, the Golden Globes.
Oh, well, we will be doing a special
Oh, but we have another episode to do. Interest of Love.
But by the time this goes live, we'll already have done our Golden Globes live stream.
We are going to do the Golden Globes live
Well, we
stream.
did. By the time this goes live, we did our Golden Globes live stream.
Okay.
But we're going to, even though we're working on the 1992 episode, even though we're going to watch new movies, we are going to do a limited 4-part episode series about
Of the Interest of Love, the
Interest-
Korean soap opera /
yeah,
drama.
melodrama,
And a
South
series.
Korean.
I don't know if I call it a soap opera, but it's like a series.
Yeah,
It's
well, yeah, we're going to do 4
series.
episodes.
for sure, because we are so into it. Like, we love it,
Yeah. But
And it's
part
great.
1 of that 4-part series will be our next episode.
for sure.
Yeah. All right. So let's cheers our empty glasses.
Cheers.
Let's
To
we got
Summer Sun.
we have to
We've
go
had a fun
thank
time
whoever gave us free
here.
eggs.
And the
We
passion
have
fruit.
no idea who gave us free
We
eggs.
have no idea. So we have to go find this out.
And this has been fun.
So
And
fun.
I guess we fully embraced video for 2023.
Fully embraced it.
We might not do video in 2024, but at least in 2023 we're doing video.
Yeah, why not?
All right.
Why not?
All right. So this has been fun.
Cheers.
Cheers. We got 2 minutes on the memory card.
Okay,
Bye.
bye.